I am Daniel Molina, research leader.
Rongivic Atun.
Desamparo. Lomibao.
Kilmer Garcia.
Hijin Hong.
Chaniel Humayag.
Rosario.
Zandro Redilla.
Nico Solis.
Lomibao.
And we are the group 3 from grade 12 STEM 1A.
And we are here to present our research study entitled The Relationship Between Clothing Preferences and Self-Confidence of Grade 12 Youths, PHINMA UPAM, academic year 2019-2020.
Chapter 1, The Problem. This chapter includes the background of the study, statement of the problem and hypothesis, conceptual framework, significance of the study, scope and delimitation, and definition of terms. Statement of the problem. This study aimed to find the relationship between the clothing preferences and the self-confidence of the students. Specifically, the study sought answers to the following questions. First, what is the profile of the respondents in terms of age and sex? Second, how often do the respondents wear classic outfit, casual outfit, and summer outfit? Third, what is the level of confidence of grade 12 youth students? And lastly, is there a significant relationship between the clothing preferences and the self-confidence of grade 12 youth students?
Scope and delimitation of the study. This study focuses on the relationship between clothing preferences and self-confidence of grade 12 humanities and social sciences students of PHINMA University of Pangasinan. This study was conducted on first semester academic year 2019-2020. The technique utilized used in selecting respondents was simple random sampling, wherein each respondent has given an equal chances being chosen for the study. The correlational method was used in order to collect fundamental data about the study.
Motivation in pursuing research study. Nobody is born with limitless self-confidence. As Don 2019 said, self-confidence is something people learn to build up. In psychology, the term self-esteem is used to describe a person's overall sense of self-worth or personal value. In other words, how much they value themselves. Self-confidence is affected by a lot of factors, especially in the clothing preferences. We have conducted this study in order to find out how the clothing preference affects the self-confidence of the students. Significance of the study. This study serves as our guide in order to provide more knowledge in regard to our topic. This study shall be greatly significant to those following: students, teachers, parents, school administration, UPAM community, fashion designer, researchers, and other researchers.
Chapter 2, Review of Related Literature and Study. This chapter presents a review of some related literature and study, which were related to our study.
Upon completing the research, we found relevant studies that are related to our study.
Clothing preference. Foreign, we found the study of Law et al. 2016 titled The Impact of Student Outfit Choice on Class Participation, and the study of Kyogan 2013 titled The Relationship Between Clothing Preference, Self-Concept, and Self-Esteem.
On clothing preference local, we found the study of fall 2014 entitled Clothing and the Colonial Culture of Appearance in the 19th Century Spanish Philippines, and the study of Dante's ARC 2014 entitled Influence of Fashion Blog in the Fashion Clothing.
And the study of Badami et al. 2012 entitled Differential Effects on Self-Confidence and Activation.
On self-confidence local, we found the study of J 2013 entitled Correlations of Social Rejection and Self-Confidence to the Academic Performance, and the study of Almubela et al. 2013 entitled The Relationship of Self-Esteem and Health-Related Behaviors Among Adolescents in Baguio City.
Chapter 3, Methodology. The chapter explains how the necessary data and information to address the search objectives and questions shall be collected, presented, and analyzed.
Data gathering and survey. In our research study, we use survey questionnaire to obtain data. It is the way we can determine who, what, where, how are most of the people inclined with what we are researching. The survey questionnaire are aimed at eliciting relevant information concerning the relationship between clothing preference and self-confidence.
Data gathered through floating survey questionnaires. First, the survey questionnaires and permission letters for the respondents were formulated with the assistance of research advisor. The survey questionnaire has 3 parts. The first one was a profile of the students, where their age and sex were considered. The second part was about clothing preference, that was composed of casual, classic, and summer outfits. The last part was composed of 10 questions about the level of self-confidence of the students. Upon the permission, the survey questionnaire were floated and retrieved by the researchers. Lastly, the data gathered from the respondents were tallied, analyzed, and calculated. Our problem in this study was the number of students outside eating their lunch and the conflict of the schedule between the researchers and the respondents. The solution to this problem is to give or address the respondent's letter before loading the survey questionnaire. We also encountered difficulties in finding data for Chapter 2 that has a year or that has the appropriate year we're looking for.
Chapter 4, Presentation, Analysis of Data, Interpretation of Findings. In this chapter presents the relevant and substantial data gathered which are presented, analyzed, and interpreted in the context of problem posited in the study. First part of Table 1 shows the frequency distribution of the range of age of the respondents. It shows that 67.35% of the respondents were 15 to 17 years old, and 32.65% of the respondents were 18 to 20 years old, and under 15 and 21 years old above has 0%. Second part of the Table 1 shows the frequency distribution of the male and female respondents of the research. A total of 71.43% are female and 28.57% are male. In Table 2, that 71.43% answered casual outfit, 24.49% selected classical outfit, and 4.08% answered summer outfit. So the findings denotes that almost all the respondents much prefer casual outfit than classical and summer outfit. The result indicated was the same in the study of Kyogang 2013, entitled The Relationship Between Clothing Preferences, Self-Concept, and Self-Esteem.
Table 3 shows the average weighted mean and transmitted description of the level of self-confidence of the respondents. Out of 10 indicated statements, only 1 statement gathered a very high transmitted description, and 9 of the statements gathered high transmitted description. The computed average weighted mean of 10 statements is 3.83, which had a high transmitted description. The result specified in Table 3 was the same in the study of J 2013, entitled Correlation of Social Rejection and Self-Confidence to the Academic Performance. Table 4 shows the significant relationship between clothing preferences and the self-confidence of the respondents. The computed chi-square is 10.96 and critical value is 15.507 or approximately 15.51, which means the computed chi-square is less than the critical value. Therefore, the null hypothesis is accepted. There is no significant relationship between clothing preferences and self-confidence of the respondents. The result of hypothesis testing specified in Table 3 was the same in the study of Yogan 2013, entitled The Relationship Between Clothing Preferences, Self-Concept, and Self-Esteem.
Chapter 5. Summary, Conclusions, and Recommendations. This chapter presented a summary of findings, conclusion based on findings, and recommendations drawn from conclusions. The findings of the study were ordered according to the specific sub-problem stated in the first chapter. Summary of findings. It is said that on the profile of respondents, 33 of them were under 15 to 17 years old, while 16 of them were under 18 to 20 years old. From the respondents of 49, 35 of them were female and 14 of them were male. On the clothing preferences of the respondents, out of 49 respondents, 35 of them preferred casual outfits, 12 of them selected classic outfits, and 2 of them answered summer outfits. On the level of self-confidence of the respondents, the computed average weighted mean is 3.83, which had a transmuted description of high level of self-confidence. On the significant relationship between clothing preferences and self-confidence of the respondents, the computed value for chi-square is 10.96 and critical value of 15.5. Therefore, the null hypothesis is accepted.
Conclusions. We, the researchers, have a lot of conclusions for this research. First, women are more expressive than men in terms of fashion. For them, there's more options and a way better, more expressive. Second, Philippines is a tropical country and placed near the equator that made the country so hot. So, Filipinos are preferred to wear casual outfits. Next is that, despite the clothing preferences and other factors, students' confidence remains high. And lastly, fashion and clothing preferences are self-expression. Recommendations. For the parents, they should monitor their children in order to boost their confidence. For the students, they are encouraged to build their confidence with all possible factors, such as clothing preferences. Schools are advised to use different methods to balance the children's self-confidence and professionalism. And lastly, for other researchers, we advise them to reconduct these studies in different settings to validate our findings and to deepen the knowledge made by us researchers.
Conducted the study to get the answers and more knowledge, to understand the significance of the self-confidence and the clothing preference, to find out if a person's level of self-confidence affects one's personal choice of clothing.
The data gathered in research study, which cover from grade 12 students of Humanities and Social Sciences in PHINMA University of Pangasinan. This study was conducted for first semester academic year 2019 and 2020.
Our study struggled on how to evolve our topic to the students' major problem. It's not that easy to state a topic and not connected to our respondents itself. Another one, it's difficult to find findings about related studies and literature that is up to date. Some of them is inaccurate and out of the year we're looking for. Then on the day of conducting our survey questionnaire, there is some conflict on time. That's why we have to wait for in-charge teacher permission before uploading the survey questionnaire. But unfortunately, some of the students are still outside eating their lunch. The solution to this problem is to address or give the letter of the respondents 1 week before uploading the survey questionnaire.
The research problem focused on the two variables, clothing preference and self-confidence. It's a way to emphasize and elaborate the correlation of both variables, and it will help provide the focus for where our research starts. These questions are foundational, which will guide us to finish our study.
The most important source we found in Chapter 2 are the study of Kyogan 2013 entitled The Relationship Between Clothing Preferences, Self-Concept, and Self-Esteem, and the study of Law et al. 2016 entitled Impact of Student Outfit Choice on Class Participation. These two sources helps us to finish our study because it gives relevant information and it serves us guide and basis for our research study.
Our research methodology is a descriptive correlational design. We chose this method because we are comparing and describing two variables in our study, which are the clothing preference and self-confidence.
Our respondents are the Humes, specifically the GHT Humes 3 students. Out of 55 students, 49 of them are our respondents, and the sampling method we use is the lottery sampling technique.
The measurement instrument that we use are the statistical analysis of data that compose of frequency count and percentage distribution, average weighted mean, and chi-squared.
Based on our findings, out of 49 respondents, 33 of them were aged 15 to 17 years old, and most of them were female. They much preferred casual outfit as their clothing style. The computed average weighted mean was described as high level of self-confidence, and therefore, the null hypothesis was accepted.
First of all, our research titled The Relationship Between Clothing Preferences and Self-Confidence are already original because it's our own research and study. All of our data that we gathered, our information, and our findings because it is valid, and also our survey questionnaire. The way we did the whole process of our research, our recommendation, summary, and conclusion, all of them are original.
The strongest part of our research is the Chapter 4, which is the presentation of data. This part is supported by all the information given by the respondents or individuals. This part supported all the claims we made. The least strong part of our research is the Chapter 2 because we found hard to find other ideas for this research.
First of all, parents are encouraged to monitor their children in order to help develop their self-confidence. Second, students are encouraged to learn how to build their self-confidence. Also, schools are encouraged to use different methods such as self-advocacy, encouragement, and positive feedbacks to help develop their students' self-confidence. And lastly, us, the researchers, encourage future researchers to conduct the same study in different settings to achieve further understanding of the study.
Our study is one of the students' problems that might affect their self-confidence. This study shows the importance of dressing up, showing real identity, personal value, confidence, and satisfaction. In this study, we discovered that most of the students prefer to have a casual outfit where it helps them to introduce their own identity.
If we are given a chance to conduct our research study again, we would like to change the focus of our study. We will just focus on the effect of self-confidence to the clothing preferences of the students. We also want to change the settings and the respondents of our research.
We would advise ourselves to stay focused and research-centered in order for us to fulfill the data's meaning and accomplish the work we have to do on or before the given time.
Our research study seeks to find the relationship between clothing preferences and the self-confidence of the students. The main goal of this research is to help other people or other students, especially those people who are suffering from bullying because of their clothing choice. This study will help the society to gain even a little knowledge on how clothing preferences affect the self-confidence of an individual. It will help to eradicate the dilemma in our society, especially bullying. Also, this research will help or contribute knowledge on how people can boost or improve their self-confidence.